Streaming had already been gaining popularity even before the pandemic, but the virus, the global quarantine that took place afterwards, really began to accelerate the trends that were already happening. One of the early indications that we saw was in the first quarter of this year, from January through March. People began to cancel their pay TV services, their cable and satellite services, at record rates. The analyst firm Nathanson Moffett identified 1.8 million subscribers who had canceled in the first 3 months of this year. One of the major reasons might logically be the lack of professional sports. Basketball, baseball, football has been a lifeline for these pay cable services. It has been the critical retention tool for cable and satellite. It has been the one reason to continue to pay for a TV service.
Without sports, linear TV really is dying, and they're probably not coming back even when sports comes back. All of the ambitious, exciting content that you want to see is all coming out on streaming services. There's really nothing in the kind of linear TV world that matters anymore as part of that cable bundle. And so I think the reality is people just don't even think about turning on the TV to watch a show with 20 minutes of ads where episodes are still coming out week to week. It is literally becoming a thing of the past in most people's heads. And I think that's why cord cutting hit record levels.
Now, one of the clear beneficiaries of that has been Netflix. Netflix is already the leader in streaming by a wide margin internationally. When Netflix reported its numbers in April for the first 3 months of the year, it reported an astronomical 15.7 million subscriber gain globally. That is more than double the forecasts for that period. Another of the beneficiaries of the pandemic has been Disney's Disney Plus streaming service. That service launched in November and had a very fast ramp because it had the benefit of all of Disney's prominent brands. It had Pixar Animation and Lucasfilm Star Wars films, and it had Marvel with theaters being closed and with theme parks being closed. This was the lone bright light. It is now reporting 54.5 million subscribers in a short 5 months, which is a very rapid acceleration.
If filming of TV and film production can't restart in the fall, by the time you get into 2021, you are going to be running more on catalog than ever before. Now, that will certainly advantage the companies with the biggest catalogs. And so if you look at just the depths of what Netflix has assembled, it probably favors them over others. But, look, even they are going to have an impact at some point.
There's been a 13% drop in national television advertising, according to researchers. And that will have a direct effect on what the television networks, the traditional networks, can afford to spend to create programming. And we may, as a consequence, see more less expensive programming like game shows or reality shows, which are less complicated to shoot, don't require multiple locations, don't require complex camera work or editing. I think that this too will accelerate a trend that has already taken place, where the resources that are available to networks to develop programming they're further constrained.
The reality is everyone in streaming is winning. Are companies like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney and Hulu winning? Sure. But the tide is coming in and lifting everybody in the sector. And I think, the danger for the traditional television world is the more time you spend on streaming, the more this becomes part of your daily routine, it's going to be much harder to go back. My guess is the cord cutting that you saw in Q1, especially with 20 plus million people unemployed, you're going to see cord cutting throughout the rest of 2020 at just record levels that this industry has never even thought imaginable.
I don't see a day where the cable business has a revival. I think that these behaviors are permanently changed.